Hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. For today's video we're going to be doing another Will I Buy It. I know that I just posted one of these last week and I promise you guys I have no intentions of doing these weekly from here on out, but since I posted that video a little over a week ago, a lot of things have happened. A lot of things have been announced and launched that I'm super interested in. I've gotten a lot of comments from you guys and I am every bit as curious to hear what you guys think about these launches, so I thought we would go ahead and chat about it in today's video. Before we jump into it, welcome to those of you that are new. I hope that you will consider subscribing, ring the notification bell just so that you know anytime I upload. And with that said, let's chat about some new makeup releases. So let's start with the big one, the elephant in the room. I don't think that's an appropriate way to use that saying, but the one that I know we're all thinking, and that is Tati Beauty. The day that I uploaded my Will I Buy It, it might have been the day after, Tati announced her makeup line, specifically her eyeshadow palette, and I instantly was like over the moon excited. Now I have been following Tati for a very long time. She's one of the only really big channels that I continue to follow pretty regularly. I know a lot of people have opinions about her and her channel. As a bigger YouTuber, I think that kind of follows you or comes with the territory, but I really enjoy her videos. I really admire not just her work ethic, but I admire that she truly just loves and knows a lot about makeup. I trust her opinions on what is good and what is not. And one thing I think I love the most about Tati, we'll get into the eyeshadow palette in just a second, but I love very most about her channel is that even though I know she's grown and she probably lives a much more lavish lifestyle than I live, she hasn't shunned affordable and drugstore makeup like I feel a lot of the bigger YouTubers do as they get a bigger following and start to make a lot of money. So I've always appreciated that she really is just in it for the love of makeup. And I trust that this is going to be a really good quality palette. So this is what the palette looks like. You guys have probably seen this a lot, heard a lot of people talking about this over the last week or week and a half. So this is a palette full of neutrals. There are 24 shades inside here, and if you look at the palette, it's kind of broken up in a really interesting way. So she has 4 rows, and each of those rows represent a different finish or a different type of finish. And then each column is divided up into kind of color stories, it seems like. So you have kind of like the grays and the blacks, and then the browns, and kind of the warm oranges. Then you have a row of yellowy light browns, and then kind of creamy champagnes, and the last row is kind of like a berry, sort of cranberry or even purple kind of tone. Very curious to see what this is going to look like in person, because I've seen a lot of different pictures of this, and in every picture or even in every video that it's made an appearance in, it seems to look a little bit different in every single picture or video. Some of them, it seems that each of the columns, the colors seem almost identical to each other even though the finishes are different, but then there's some where they look completely different. So I'm very curious to get my hands on this thing. You guys best believe I will be trying to pick this thing up. I think this is going to sell out very, very quickly, like within the first 30 minutes to an hour, kind of like the Jaclyn Hill lipsticks did. Hopefully this one won't have the trouble that that one had, but I'm definitely going to be picking this one up. I don't need this eyeshadow palette. I don't need any eyeshadow palettes really ever, but this is just one I think for just the beauty community in general. This is like, it's like a moment in history, kind of. I know that that sounds a little bit dramatic. I know it sounds a little bit gushy. I'm not trying to gush over Tati. I just think this is a really big moment. I think people have been waiting for this palette for a very long time, and I'm very curious to see what these different finishes are all about. I don't think I mentioned, my guess is those of you that have been following this release probably already know this, but each of the 4 rows are a different finish. So the very bottom row is all matte. The row just above that is called a sequin row, and I think this is supposed to be more of like a satin sort of finish, so it has a little bit of shimmer to it, but it's not super reflective. Then the third row up is a metallic texture, and then the last row is a glitter texture, and I've heard people say this is supposed to be a grown-up glitter. You guys might know how I feel about glitter, like chunky glitter. I'm not a fan, so I'll be very curious to see what her glitter texture is actually like on the eyes and what it feels like in person, what it's like to work with. So I will be at my computer Friday morning at 10 o'clock, it's actually 11 o'clock my time, and I will be trying to pick this thing up, and you best believe I will be sharing it with you guys and let you guys know if it is worth the massive hype that it is getting. But it's definitely one that I, as a semi-collector, it's one that I definitely want to own, even though I know I may not need it. I know these are neutrals that I may very well have in other eyeshadow palettes within my eyeshadow, I hate saying collection, repertoire, well, that's even worse, collection. I still really want to try this one out. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Oh, I forgot to mention the price, and that's a huge thing. The price actually just came out yesterday. The price on this thing is $48. I was very curious about what her price point would be. There was a part of me that thought, you know, Tati's really, she wants this to be accessible to probably more people, so I don't think she's gonna go super luxury price, but I also, knowing her, she's a little bougie, so part of me thought maybe this was gonna be really expensive. I feel like $48 is right where where it probably belongs. I initially heard someone say it was going to be $37. I don't know where that number came from, but it kind of got stuck in my mind and I thought, wow, that's a great deal. And so when I saw the actual $48 price, it felt a little bit more painful than I think it would have. Definitely not the cheapest palette in the world, but I'm not that surprised by that price point. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think of the color story? Do you think it's boring? Are you interested in this? What do you think about the price? I would love to know your thoughts on this one, and let me know if you guys are interested in hearing about this thing or hearing my thoughts. I would love your feedback. So yeah, get talking. So while we're here, I do want to move on to just a couple more things. That's really the big one. I think that's the one I really wanted to get off my chest and chat about, but there are a couple more that I wanted to talk about a little bit, and one of them is Huda Beauty. So I mentioned in my last Will I Buy It video that I was very interested in the new Huda Beauty Nude Obsessions palettes. I'm still interested in those. I was actually literally minutes away from purchasing those when I saw the announcement for the Tati Beauty palette, and it made me hold off because I know I can't do both of them, at least not right now. So I'm gonna put that one on hold for a minute because I was a little bit on the fence with that one because I did get the Carly Bible palette and I kind of feel like they have a similar vibe, at least the light version of the Nude Obsessions. And then of course with the release of the Tati palette, I just decided I think I'm going to hold off on that one. I've heard some of you have picked some of those up and have really been enjoying them. I'm still interested in them, but I also wanted to talk about the new Huda palette that was released. I think this one was released just a few days ago. It's called the Mercury Retrograde palette. This looks like a beautiful, beautiful palette. It's a little bit pricey. It's out of my price range or where I'm comfortable spending. It's $67, but I really think this is an interesting color story. It's very pastel tone, but it also has a lot more jewel tones in it than like her new nude palette had. That one was very much like a straight sort of pastel pinks and mauves and dusty roses. This one has some fun greens and teals. It has like a light pastel teal matte color as well as a dark teal that's a shimmery finish. And the swatches of this palette blow my mind. I have to say, I don't know accuracy of swatches online. I think it's always a gamble. You really never know whose swatches have not been messed with or photoshopped, but if there was an award given to the most aesthetically pleasing swatches, I would definitely give that award to Huda Beauty. Her swatches always look so incredible, and this one is no exception. This just really looks interesting and beautiful to me. Wish it wasn't so expensive, or I might consider picking it up, but it's just a little bit out of my price range. But let me know what you guys think about the larger Huda palettes. Do you own any of them? Do you love them? Are they good quality? I would love to hear your thoughts. So now let's move on to an announcement that I saw this morning from Morphe. So Morphe is now going to be selling Ofra. I was so confused by this on Trendmood. I saw Trendmood posted a picture this morning that had the Morphe logo on top, the Ofra logo on the bottom, and I was so confused by that. I thought it was maybe a collaboration, but no, it actually looks like Morphe is going to start selling Ofra on their website and in stores, like in their Morphe stores. So interesting to me. So it sounds to me like Morphe's kind of becoming a makeup like superstore, kind of like Walmart, which is taking over the world. So I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I don't have any beef with Morphe. I know a lot of people do. There's things I don't love about Morphe, but it's very interesting that they're kind of moving in this direction. I don't know. I feel like that's like a kind of a weird and huge announcement, but let me know if you guys have any thoughts about that, or if you noticed that, or if you thought that was strange or interesting or exciting. I'd love to know what you guys think, because I feel like this is, I don't know what to think. I haven't read the comment section. I really don't want to dive into that comment section, but very curious to hear what you guys think about it. Speaking of Morphe, they did release, and this was actually released I think last week, that Morphe is coming out with a mini version of the James Charles palette. A lot of people have been talking about this. I don't know. I was never really that interested in this palette to begin with. Number one, I'm not the biggest fan of the big Morphe eyeshadow palettes, with the exception of like the Jaclyn Hill palette. I just find them to be either very repetitive, or with the James Charles palette, it's just way too colorful for me. There's like 3 neutrals in that entire palette. I just would not, it's just not me. It's not my personality. I'm not into that level of color, and making it a smaller size is certainly not an appeal for me. But let me know what you guys think about that. Is that something you think is a good move for them? I don't know. I sometimes think that Morphe, they have a pretty good eyeshadow formula. I just feel like they don't do a very good job with their eyeshadow releases. They obviously are making a lot of money. They're collaborating with the likes of Jeffree Star and James Charles, but I kind of feel like their standalone palettes, they need someone to step in and make them a little bit smarter color stories. I don't know. Maybe they should hire me, because I clearly know what I'm talking about. I'm just kidding. This is all in good fun. Who am I to judge? And I'm sure there are people out there that love it, but Let me know if you guys have any thoughts about that. One more release that I saw, and initially it did not interest me at all, is from Ta. They did just release a set of liquid lipsticks, lip liners, and blushes. And as I saw the price of these, they actually are not terribly priced. I think I imagined in my mind that Ta would be more along the lines of like Marc Jacobs kind of pricing. They don't seem too bad. So he released 4 blushes. They're $32 each. Also released 4 lip liners, which are $26 each. I think that's a little bit pricey. And then 4 silky lip cream liquid lipsticks with a satin finish. So these have me very curious. They look very, very pretty. And I'm very curious what the finish of these are going to be. Are they going to dry down? They say they're a liquid lipstick. Are they going to kind of be like the, I don't know, like some version of the Wet n Wild liquid catsuit high shine lipstick lip glosses that I really love? I'm curious to see what people say about these. The colors look stunning, and I don't think that $24 is super expensive, but it's still more than I like to spend, especially on lip products. Lip products are one of those things that I love a good lip product, but I generally love getting my lip products from the drugstore. But let me know if you guys have tried anything from Ta. Is this something that interests you? You guys know I love a good blush, but $32, I still haven't tried the Buxom blush, so I think I would get the Buxom blush over this one. So one more thing I wanted to kind of chat with you guys about is Trend Mood mentioned that KKW Beauty is now being sold in store at Ulta stores. Not too long ago, Kylie Cosmetics also started being sold in store at Ulta. I would love to know your guys' thoughts on both KKW Beauty and Kylie Cosmetics. I have not been interested at all in the KKW Beauty brand or the Kylie Cosmetics brand, and I know that a lot of people are. So I would love to know from you guys if you have tried out any of their products. Do you think they're amazing? Am I missing out on something? But I'd love to know any thoughts you guys have about this, or if you have tried any of their products, because I know a lot of people really love their stuff. I don't know why it is that they just don't interest me. Maybe I'm jealous of Kim Kardashian. I mean, look at that picture. How could you not be jealous of that woman? So the very last thing I wanted to touch on with you guys are a couple of releases from Colourpop, and kind of just Colourpop in general. So let's talk a little bit about their eyeshadow palettes, because that's really the only thing from Colourpop that really ever interests me. And the first one is their Bye Bye Birdie eyeshadow palette. This is a 12 pan palette. This looks so pretty. The packaging of this, the artwork on the front is absolutely stunning. And I would actually be kind of interested in this, even though I know these are shades I have. They're very purpley mauve tones. I've got plenty of purpley mauve tones for sure. Even within the Colourpop palettes that I have, and I don't have that many Colourpop palettes. Well, that's a relative statement. I mean, how many Colourpop palettes are there actually out there? So the fact that I only have 6, not 90, which is how many they have on their website right now. But here's my beef, you guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. I actually was thinking about doing a pet peeves of makeup video sometime soon, but we're going to kind of talk about one of my pet peeves right now, and that has to do with Colourpop and their eyeshadows lately. I am really, I hate to say annoyed. That sounds a little dramatic, but I really am kind of saddened by the fact that they have started to include in every single palette that they are releasing lately at least 1, if not 2, very, very chunky pressed glitters. I am not a fan of this formula. I love glitter on my eyes if it's the right formulation, if it's refined, but I'm not a fan of the very chunky glitter. I just think it's very difficult to work with. It's actually not physically safe for us. I had the same minor issue with the So Jaded palette, which you guys know I love, but I would love that palette as well as the Sweet Talk palette and the It's My Pleasure palette so much more if those chunky glitters inside there were traditional either shimmer finishes or super shock shadows. I'm just not a fan of them. And the fact that they have been in every single palette they've been releasing lately, it's a little frustrating to me thinking about purchasing a palette, knowing that when I get it, 2 of those shades I might as well scrape out and throw in the garbage because I'm just not going to use them. I also find those glitters, even if you don't use them, they find their way onto your face. They move around in the palette, and sometimes they end up in a different eyeshadow, and then when you go to put that on your eyes, that chunk of glitter can sometimes end up on your nose, on your cheek, on your neck. I mean, they are just so messy, and I never knew how much having chunks of glitter on my body bothered me until I started using those Colourpop palettes. So I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Obviously, there must be a lot of people out there that are really into them. Otherwise, I don't think people would buy these palettes, and I don't think that they would be doing as well as they're doing. They must be doing well, or Colourpop wouldn't be releasing them. So let me know your thoughts. I know that we're all different. We all have different preferences, and it might just be the fact that I'm a little bit too old for the cool glitter train, but it's just not my cup of tea. This one looks like it has at least 3 pressed glitters in it, and I think that is just a waste of what could have been some beautiful, beautiful shades. All right, you guys, and with that, that's all we're going to be talking about today. Again, please let me know if you guys have any thoughts about any of these releases or anything else that maybe I didn't talk about down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. What are you guys interested in right now? Are you guys feeling completely overwhelmed? I'm kind of feeling that way, and I'm thinking after this Tati release, I need to breathe for a minute and take a minute and just enjoy what I have. I've been thinking about doing a full month of nothing new. I think I've mentioned it in a few comments to you guys. I was initially planning to do it for October, didn't end up doing that, but I really am kind of feeling this need to just take a breather, take a minute to just relax and enjoy the things I have and stop trying to keep up with all the new launches. Nobody can do it. As exciting as makeup is, it's too much. Am I wrong? It is just too much. But let me know. I always love hearing from you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, for stopping by. I hope that you enjoyed this one. Hope that you guys have a great day, and I will be back with you very soon in my next video. Bye. And I'm every bit of curious. And I'm every bit as curious. Wait, is that correct? Before we jump in, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel before we jump in. Okay, so the last Will I Buy It video, I had like a matching shirt and nails and eyes. Did it again. We're going green today. I even have a green pumpkin sitting back there.